Freedom fighters, I'm back with another one. Well, today's video I'm going to kind of pick up where I left off. That's kind of been a current theme recently, but, I talk about a certain topic or subject and it branches off into something else, or, it's kind of the same thing. And, I reran that last video that I had and I watched it and I started thinking about some other stuff. And I can only make 15-minute videos for some reason because I'm not like verified or something like that. But, I figured this is going to be kind of like a part 2 to that. But anyway, my last video was about Ted Nugent, the musician, and his I will not comply mantra. And it's basically about how he says I will not comply while he complies. And then to any of his fans or supporters that do not comply, he then supports and backs the blue who are going to enforce the unconstitutional tyrannical laws upon them. So yeah, this is going to go much further into the, the politicians and the people, especially within our community, that use these words and these, these sayings, but don't actually mean them and don't back them up. And I also said in that video, I called out Don Jr. on Truth Social, who made this one post after the main event. And he said, well, this guy should have been a prohibited possessor, and he was known to authorities, and he was on lists and all that. And how many times have you heard content creators or even in the comment sections? I was reading in a comment section the other day, well, even watching these videos are going to put you on a list. And how many times have you heard, if you aren't already on a list already, then you're doing it wrong. If you're in any way a freedom-loving, liberty-minded individual, you're on a list. So it's like, I don't know what you're worried about. It's like people are like, oh no, being free is dangerous. Well, yeah, because we've refused to uphold our freedoms. But anyway, yeah, back to Don Jr. thing and, talking about people being on lists and stuff. They want us all on lists. They want all of your, your father's voters on lists. And talking about Trump, he recently toured the Palmetto State Armory. If you don't know what that is, it's like a big gun shop. And he was, strolling around looking at different guns and stuff. And then they had like a golden engraved Donald Trump Glock. And it has like 45 on it and everything like that. It's really decked out. And he goes, oh man, I like that. And he's like, I'm going to have to buy one of those. And it looked like the guy was getting ready to check him out and everything and said, yeah, we're going to get you one. And I only heard like one or two stories about this. It was never really confirmed, and no one really made a big deal about it or pointed this out. But they said that Donald Trump can't even own a gun right now. He can't even possess a gun, let alone purchase one, because on the permission form, not a forum, but a form that you have to sign to ask permission for your God-given inalienable rights, it says not only are you a felon, but are you being investigated or, anything for any current felonies. And of course, Trump is under how many indictments now? I've lost count. It's like 30 felonies or something like that. So yeah, he can't even own a gun. And I hope he realizes now what they are doing to we the people. Especially us small guys out here who have no voice and have no say and, get laughed out of the courtrooms and, they don't uphold anything and we just silently walk away into the shadows. But, he has the voice and he needs to realize that all these unconstitutional laws are being enforced upon us on the daily. They uphold it all. And, I was watching this one Canadian prepper episode, and the timing was impeccable on this one. But he had this guy Robbie Farber on there, and he's from Israel, and his first video, he was talking about, he was saying he's not really a prepper, and he's like, yeah, I don't have any guns or arrows or whatever, any protection or any of that stuff. He's like, I'm not really into that. He was more coming at it from an economical standard or like position, where he's like, yeah, I'm into like precious metals and stocks and bonds or whatever. I forget what he was talking about, but that's kind of where he was coming from. And maybe I have to do some videos on that. Let me know in the comments if you want to see stuff on that. But, that's where he was coming from. And then the event happened in Israel, and he had him back on the show. And then he didn't rub it in his face, but he kind of laid it out there like, well, I bet you wish you had protection now, or wish you were more on that, protection side. He goes, well, I actually had a gun, but it was confiscated from me a while back. And he was like, oh, Nate was like, well, how did that happen? And he goes, well, the gun laws here are really strict and all that, but I forget the exact story, but he said he went to go like pick his kid up from school because he wasn't jabbed, and he didn't go along with the jab mandates or something like that. And they told him his kid can't go to school there or whatnot. And he's like, all right, well, we're not getting it done. So if that's what's going to happen, we're going to pull him out. And he got into this, verbal discussion with this lady. I don't know what she was, the counselor, the principal, whatever. And then he says he comes back to his home, and the cops are raiding through his safe and taking his gun. And they said, oh, well, you assaulted this lady or whatnot. And he's like, I never touched her. And I think he even said he had it on video, and he was going through the courts or whatnot, because he knew that he knew that was coming, like that they were going to lie about it and try to, frame him for something. But, that's ultimately where I'm getting at here, is if you allow criminal charges or anything to strip you of your unalienable God-given rights, well then, you're just ripe for the pickings. And when the war hits your doorstep, and when this stuff comes to you and your family, you're going to be left defenseless and disarmed. And that's what happened to him. And luckily, he wasn't attacked, and he said his family was okay and everything like that. But, can you only imagine that if they were, and they busted down his door, he was out in public when that happened, and you weren't allowed to defend yourself? Honestly, I'd be more pissed off with my own government than I would with the Palestinians. Because you already know their position. You know that they hate you. You know what they wanted to do to you. But it was your own government who lied and made up false charges and disarmed you and left you helpless. That's much worse. And if you're seeking approval or asking permission to be able to defend yourself, you're already missing the point of the Second Amendment. The Second Amendment's already completely gone over your head. But, that wasn't in America, but even here in the States, people don't even know what freedom is anymore. People don't even know what the Constitution is. And maybe I need to do a video on that. And I think I said before, like, it's a sad state of affairs when people don't even know what freedom is. But, I guess I need to do a video to tell them about it, or, try to wake people up, but it's almost falling on deaf ears. And, people don't take it seriously. They think it's a game. They think it's a joke. And, these terms, the don't tread on me, come and take it, Molon Labe, from my cold dead hands, liberty or death. These aren't just bumper stickers or little chants to parade around as empty threats. They're promises. These are the voices from the grave of your founding fathers, the echoes of great men before you. And they've been reduced to meaningless signs and slogans. Because of what? Do we no longer have the guts, the fortitude, the will to uphold these promises? I mean, I'm just asking, honestly. And if we don't, then it's done. And we might as well just, pack our bags and go home. The country's gone. America's gone. The Constitution is dead. And that's pretty much what it is. And it pretty much already is. And that's where I've gotten to in many videos is, where I always talk about Mark Levin and his saying we're going to live in a post-constitutional republic. We're already past that point. We're already there. And that's kind of a hypothetical question, or not a hypothetical, what's the word I'm looking for? When you already know the answer to the question. But yeah, it's like, is America dead? Is it already too far gone? Is it too late? You already know the answer. You know what's coming next, and maybe you don't, but I'll have to do future videos on that. But, yeah, I mean, pretty much the boomers, he's going to go on a boomer rant. Maybe I'll save that for another video as well, but, they pretty much left us to, our devices, and we're up shit creek without a paddle. It's pretty much on Gen Xers now, and, they're getting old. Who knows how much longer they're going to be able to do anything, and then it's going to be left to millennials, which is, I guess that's what I'm considered. And that's pretty much it, man. Like, if I guess my generation, if we don't take care of it and we don't put a stop to this, it's over. Because Gen Z and Gen Alpha, as they're calling them, the irony there is wild, but yeah, I mean, Gen Z and Alpha, it's over. They're not going to do a damn thing, man. They're going to run into their pods and eat Z-bugs and do as they're told. But, yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it. That's just what, I was trying to get across, and, put in the comments what you think, but, and any of these stickers or whatever, I'm putting in this video, I was looking up different stuff. I just typed into Google patriotic bumper stickers. So I'm not endorsing or supporting any of the stuff on here. I saw some pictures that had like McCain and stuff on them. McCain Palin or whatever. And I guess Palin's alright, but obviously we know what McCain's all about. And, Ted Cruz was on there. And Ted's not that bad, but, he's honestly a perfect example of the politician I was talking about. How he, cooks bacon on his AR-15 and says, come and take it and all this. But, he still enforces gun control. Same with Ron DeSantis. He acts like he's all, pro 2A and all this. And he signed the constitutional carry bill that really wasn't constitutional carry. It was just permitless concealed carry, but you'll still get arrested for open carrying. And I did a video about that as well. But in some way or another, they always contradict themselves, and they don't support the absolute no infringements on the Second Amendment. And if you ever break their laws, they support the police coming to enforce it with violence upon you, which is what I've been trying to get across for the last couple videos. And like when DeSantis signed that bill, he thinks he gave you the right to carry without a permit. No, you had it all along, and you're looking for permission from your politicians and from your favorite celebrity or whatever they're talking about. Yeah, and I saw some of the classic, come and take it, and right next to it was a thin blue line, Punisher skull, and we back the blue. Well, they don't back you. But, yeah, until the next one, you know what I always say, we are on our own. Get right with God, because only He can save you. Freedom Fighters out.